Well, we're getting down to the final two of our 21 and 21 series here with Moto America. If you're watching this for the first time, the Superbike class was created back in 1976, and since the inception of the class, we have had 21 champions. And we're talking to number 20 right now, Cameron Beaubier. Hey, Cameron, how's it going, man?
What's going on?
Well, we're doing this series, and we're excited to talk to you, especially because you're sitting where right now in the world?
I'm in Barcelona, Spain, just south of Barcelona, Spain.
That is awesome. All right. Before you tell us about what's going on in your life now, let's take you back in time. Cameron, tell me about your path to getting to the Superbike Championship up to the point just before you won your first national title.
Man, it was a pretty, it was a pretty good journey just leading into Superbike racing. Like I came over here to Europe when I was a kid, after doing, some WERA and some club stuff back home after racing supermoto and motocross growing up, and started dipping my feet into the road race waters, and got elected for the Red Bull Rookies Cup in 2007. And I was only 13 going on 14 going into the Rookies Cup, and got some results there. And like, that's where I wanted to be is racing in the World Championship and stuff like that. And I got in there in 2009 with Red Bull KTM as teammates with Marquez. And man, it was a shock for me. I was over here in Europe at 16 years old and just trying to get to and from the track or to and from the airport. And my parents, I've told this story, a handful of times, but my parents, they got good jobs at home and stuff like that. But I got a little brother, and they couldn't afford to, come over to Europe with me and do that whole thing. So I struggled through that year. It was great though, just riding some of the world tracks, racing against the best people in the world. But yeah, it was a struggle, and the team ended up folding. I couldn't get a ride for the 2010 season. So I came back and started my pursuit in AMA Pro Racing. So, and that was a few years before they went MotoAmerica. So did that, did some 600 stuff, ended up doing good enough to get looked at by Yamaha, by Graves, got picked up in 2012. And I started my connection with the Yamaha family there. We got a handful of wins in 2012 after a pretty stupid scooter accident at the beginning of the year that put me out for a couple of races. And it's funny, I remember riding at Sonoma 4 weeks after I had full on knee surgery, just because I was so terrified I was gonna lose my ride, and I ended up podiuming the first day on Saturday. And I was I literally exerted my body so bad I couldn't sleep that night. My stomach, my body was just destroyed because just doing nothing for 4 weeks and then just hopping on a bike. But yeah, it's funny, just the whirlwind of how fast all that has gone by, and then a few years later fighting for my first MotoAmerica's Superbike Championship in 15, and going up against the man Hayes. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's funny just looking back on all that now.
Well, when you do look back on it, so you win it what years? 15, 16. Tony comes
18.
in 17, 18 and 19. Yep.
Yep.
And 20.
And 20, yeah.
So of those 5 years, or really 6 years, talk to me about some memories that stand out in your head. If you're sitting around on an airplane and someone finds out what you do and they ask you, so you race? What races have been cool in your brain? Is there anything that really stands out, or any particular person you've raced against or people you race against that stand out?
I'd say that the obvious, just Tony and Hayes. It was funny because Hayes and I were on the same bike, but the way our setups were and stuff, they're so different. And then racing Tony, especially the first year he came over here, it was kind of he was fast just like that. And no one wants that, when you're racing in America and someone comes over into your championship that you had just won and starts beating up on you. I think he won the first 5 races, so that was that's pretty crazy to look back on. And yeah, I guess some of the races that stick out to me is like Road America, when me and Tony got into it, and Heron was right there too. And I would say, though, on like a positive note, almost all the Lagunas, especially the Lagunas that have gone good, that I've won, like 2016 and 2019. A couple of those Lagunas were just like amazing, just because my family and friends were there. We go like have dinner at night on Cannery Row whenever the streets close down. And I would say, yeah, though a lot of I can't even think of like one particular Laguna, but most Lagunas that have gone good are just like the best weekends ever.
Do you think the arrival of Tony Elias in 2016, 2017, he wins a championship, forced the Moto America paddock and Superbike class specifically to just elevate? I'm talking from a rider perspective, from a team perspective, the whole thing, because of the amount of speed he showed right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think so. And the one thing about Tony too is like, there was times that I was half a second to a second faster than him going into the race. And he was just such a good racer that like he was so good on the brakes. He just maximized what that Suzuki did good. And it was so hard to beat him like in a straight up fight. And man, I remember just getting fired up coming back to the truck after some of the races and stuff like that. But then again, like on the flip side, like when I did beat him in some good battles, like it felt so good. So yeah, definitely some good ones to look back on.
Cameron, where do we find you in life right now? What is going on, and why are you sitting in Spain?
I'm still trying to figure it out. No, yeah, I'm racing Moto2 over here with American Racing in the MotoGP World Championship. And yeah, I spent so many good years racing in MotoAmerica, and going home after every weekend, but it was time for a change, and coming over here, and just I wanted to get back in the World Championship and see what I had for like the best guys in the world. So it's been tough. It's been a struggle, relearning a lot of these tracks and learning a lot of tracks, learning the bike, learning a new team. Yeah, even just learning like the area where I live in. And yeah, it's just kind of a whirlwind, but it's been really cool. Obviously there's been some bummer times, but for the most part, it's been pretty cool. It's super challenging. And to be honest, like I can't wait to just get this year over and and just bank like everything that I've struggled through, and like all the learning curve that I've had this year, just learning everything that I just told you, and put it to use next year. So
yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that. Well, I mean, look, congratulations on 5 Moto America championships. You were the first Moto America Superbike champion. And we know we're sitting back here in the States, Cam, with a lot of confidence, hoping you can keep your confidence up, that you have what it takes to win at this level in Moto2 and possibly win a world championship. So keep after it, guy. And thanks for all the years of great racing here in the U.S.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.